Hello, welcome back to our channel. So today I really wanted to film the Q&A that I promised you guys in my April favorites video. I asked you to leave questions and I would do a Q&A. So that is what I'm going to do today. Is I'm just going to scroll through and answer the questions that you guys asked in that video. First question is, when you adopted, did you choose what type of child you wanted, gender, age, etc.? Also, could you talk about your adoption story with Noah and JJ? Okay, so just quickly, I am going to do separate videos for each of their adoption stories. The reason that theirs aren't, on here and in my videos like Rosie's is because I wasn't making videos on YouTube when we adopted both of them. So I didn't make videos, but I do have pictures and video clips and stuff from their adoption. So I am working on videos for each of them as well that kind of tell their adoption stories. As far as did we choose what type of child that we wanted, I mean, yes and no. When we went into Noah's adoption, we just said that we wanted a girl 0 to 2. And we ended up getting called about a little boy. And when we kind of heard about him and heard his story, we just said absolutely yes. So that kind of changed our whole plans. And with Jonah's adoption, that was a domestic infant adoption. We did not set any parameters on that. We just said, whichever birth mother chooses us and feels we would be a good fit for her baby, that's the child that we want. And with Rosie, we found her through an advocacy page. A friend of mine that advocates for children in China was advocating for her. So we weren't even planning on adopting again. We didn't even have a home study or anything. We just found her and decided to adopt her and started from scratch with the adoption process for China for her. Is there ever any jealousy, tension between your biological kids and your adopted kids, other than just normal sibling rivalries? Wouldn't say there's any jealousies. I think that, and this probably happens in a family where all the children are biological too, I think that sometimes the older girls get a little, probably a little jealous because of how much attention younger siblings get everywhere we go. Everyone, oohs and ahs and fawns over Rosie especially, but the boys too. And so sometimes I think that leaves the girls feeling a little bit like, oh, we're not special. Make sure that our girls feel special too. It's this fine line, you want your adopted children to feel like they are just as much a part of your family, even though, they don't share the same DNA, it doesn't matter. So you work really hard to make sure they don't feel any different. And then you're kind of trying to balance that with making sure that, your biological children don't feel like they're not special because they weren't adopted. It's kind of this juggling thing that you do. But I would say that that's kind of, at least for right now, that's where we're at with that. When we adopted Noah, what were we worried about and what did he do that the girls didn't? Everything. I was a little worried because I've probably said this in videos before, I always saw myself as being a mom of girls. That's just what I thought that I would have. And so adding Noah into our family was a shock for me because I wasn't used to little boys. They are a lot more rambunctious, a lot louder, a lot more prone to putting themselves in dangerous situations. I say all the time, I feel like they have no regard for their own safety whatsoever. So that has definitely put a few gray hairs on my head, kind of really tested my parenting. I felt like I was a pretty good parent when the girls were little, and then the boys came along and I'm like, I'm the worst parent in the world. My son is outside naked right now. So they do things that the girls never did. So that was definitely a big adjustment. Could you do a hair tutorial sometime on how you do your hair? I love how you put your bangs back. Girl, I'm gonna do it for you right now because that's how easy it is. You just take 2 bobby pins. I literally pull like this right in the middle of my hair, right here, push it forward like that, and then pin. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now my hair looks crazy. Yeah, there's nothing special about that. I've been doing that forever. I feel like for a while, like pinning your bangs back became like a thing. I don't know if it is anymore. I will continue to do it till the end of time because it's just really easy and it keeps my hair out of my face when I don't feel like I want it in my face. Lots of questions about my necklace, which of course I'm not wearing in this video. It's a jade necklace. It's just a jade circle with a little hole in the middle that I put through a gold chain. I got that in China. I was told by our guide that those little pieces of jade like that, the circular jade, are given to girls in China when they turn 16. And so I got one for myself, just to kind of have a piece of Rosie's birth country for myself. And then I also got her one, which we will give to her on her 16th birthday. Next question is, how do you balance all the kids with schooling, attending to each of their needs? It really is just an ongoing, I don't want to say struggle, but every day looks a little different depending on what the needs are of that child for that day. As if you have kids, you know that can change almost daily. So yeah, I mean, there are days that I feel like I go to sleep and I'm like, yeah, I owned this day. Like, we just got everything done and it was great. And there are other days I go to bed and I'm like, I am not fit to be a mother. Why do I have these kids? So I think everyone feels that way. I know I did when I had one child. So I don't think it really matters 1, 5, 10, however many kids. We all have days where we feel like a rock star parent and then days where we feel like we're not doing such a good job. But to more specifically answer your question, I've said this before and I can't sing his praises enough. My husband is an amazing father. He's an amazing husband. And he helps me out so much. He just helps out so much. I don't know if that's more than the average husband. I'm not even sure. But I just know that he helps me out a ton and makes it a lot easier for me to carry the load that I carry. Do I have a vlog channel? No, this is the only channel that we have and probably the only channel we will have. I just don't see myself being able to juggle more than one YouTube channel. What was life like before parenthood? Well, we had our first child very young. We got married young and had our first child young. So, I graduated high school, worked, did some college. I didn't finish college, but I did some college. My husband was in college, but we got married right before his senior year. So his senior year, he went to school full-time and played baseball, and I worked full-time so that we could, afford to live. So then right the same month that he graduated was the month that I got pregnant with our oldest daughter. So life wasn't anything like spectacular or we weren't like, traveling all the time or anything like that when we had our kids. So yeah. Did you add a 5th arrow to your tattoo? I have not yet. I think mostly because tattoos have a minimum that they charge. Like if you go to a tattoo artist, they have a minimum. So you have to pay, even if it's like a tiny tattoo. So I've been like trying to decide if I want to just go ahead and get another smaller tattoo like while I'm there to make it feel worth it. So I'm not just paying $50 for one tiny little arrow. But I think my friend and I are going to go on Sunday because she wants to get a tattoo. And so I'm just going to suck it up and whatever it costs, I'll just pay for it. But yeah, I'm going to get Rosie added. I know, you guys remind me of that all the time. I know I need to get my next arrow. The next question was, did we get financial aid because Rosie is a special child? Not every special needs child will have a grant or any kind of financial aid, if you will. But our agency that had her file was offering a grant. So there was a big chunk of her adoption expenses that the agency covered as a grant. As a homeschooling mom with a busy work at home business, I love hearing how other work home balance homeschooling life with workflow. So as far as like balancing homeschooling and stuff with YouTube, and this is kind of a job for me. YouTube and blogging is a job for me. How I balance it is I set specific times that I film and edit, and my husband, like I said, is great about saying, okay, he's got the kids so that I can film. And sometimes I do film 2 or 3 videos at a time and then put them up. Now we've started vlogging more, so that's a little bit different. But yeah, I try to just set specific times for me to work, and everyone knows, my kids know, my husband knows that this is like mommy's working right now. How did you feel about leaving Rosie while you went on your trip with your husband? Not too much so. She loves grandma. All the kids do. I was really more worried for my mom than I was for any of the kids. And she did really, really well. With the invention of FaceTime, it makes things like leaving your kids for a little bit a lot easier because they can see you, you can talk to them. And because she was staying here in our house and staying here with her siblings and staying in her same routine, I felt like that it would be okay. And it was. She had a ball with grandma. She loved it. She did really well. Do you plan on having or adopting any more children, or do you feel your family is complete? I hate to be one of those people, but I'm going to save this question. I'm not going to answer it in this video because I'm doing a collab video with a friend here very soon where we're going to talk about family size and what our plans are for our family and her plans and kind of how we go about deciding. So be on the lookout for that video coming very soon. What denomination or religion am I? I know you've mentioned that you're a Christian. I'm non-denominational. We don't have a denomination. We are non-denominational Christians. How do you manage your life as a full-time mom, homeschool teacher, blogger, YouTuber? Do you ever feel down, unmotivated? Yeah, I mean, I have days like everybody else where I'm like, ugh, I kind of feel like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to put my life out there. I don't want to put my kids out there. I just don't want to do this anymore. But yeah, I always, within a few hours or by the next morning, wake up refreshed and ready to get back at it because I know why we do this. I know why we share, and I'm confident in that. I'm confident in my reasons for why we're sharing our lives with the internet. So yeah, like I said, it's just a matter of like refocusing and remembering why you're doing something. And to me, that helps kind of bring back the motivation. Someone asked me about working out and exercising. When do you do that? I'm good and bad about it. I have times where I'm great about it and other times where I'm not. I have done everything from getting up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym way before anyone else is up in my house. I've also, used the schedule where during nap time when everyone's sleeping, that's when I either run on the treadmill or do some kind of workout with, like a DVD workout or something like that. I'm not great at sticking to it. I tend to do things really good for a little while and then stop, and then do things really good for a little while and then stop. In my earlier videos, I noticed I had longer hair. I love it both ways, but curious about what made you go shorter. I just wanted to change, so I chopped it all off and then regretted it a week later, like everyone does. So now I'm like, chewing biotin like they're going out of style and trying to grow my hair back out. Another question about my hair, is it natural or dyed? If it's dyed, do I know what color it is? It is definitely dyed. My natural hair color is, you can kind of see it in the roots here. It's just like what I like to call dishwater. It's not blonde, it's not brown, it's just somewhere in between. It's like a mousy brown color. I don't love it on me. I feel like this color is what I wish I would have been born with. God doesn't make mistakes, but I feel like maybe he just forgot when he was doing my hair. He was like, oh, crud, I forgot to give that girl red hair and she should have had red hair. He gave me the pale skin and freckles. Why can't you give me the red hair too? When I was a little girl, did I dream of adopting a child? How did I imagine my future? When I was a teenager, I knew that I wanted to adopt, and I actually specifically wanted to adopt a girl from China. We ended up adopting, a son from Africa and another son from the United States. So, but we did end up, adopting that girl from China. When I was younger and even in high school and stuff, I really didn't think I would get married for a long time. I didn't think I would have kids for a long time. I was planning on, having a career, and I had all these kind of big dreams. I wanted to go to law school. None of it ever happened. None of it ever worked out. So my life looks very different than I ever thought that it would. But I'm really thankful that God's plans are better than my own, and the direction my life has taken is far beyond anything I ever could have imagined for myself. How did we move from sponsoring Rosie to adopting her? Did you just call them up and say, can I keep her? You're funny, Robin. No, we actually moved forward with her adoption and then started sponsoring her. We found out after we were moving forward with her adoption where she was staying, that she was staying at ICC, and that we could sponsor her. And that was just another way for us to help out ICC, and they sent us updates about her and pictures and stuff that we wouldn't have gotten through China's government, if that makes sense. So it was just another way that we kind of sponsored her. It wasn't like we sponsored her and then decided to adopt her. It didn't work like that. How do we choose our kids' names? Does my necklace have? I already answered that. And okay. Our kids' names, and I feel like someone else asked this in here too. Our kids' names are Kennedy, Shelby, Noah, Jonah, Rosie. Our kids' names were chosen because it was like names that we liked, and then their middle names are all family names. This is a question we get all the time. Will you guys vlog more, do daily vlogs, or vlog twice or thrice a week? We'd love to see more of your family. Can we see some discipline techniques you use? I don't want to say never, because I feel like when you say never, that's when for some reason it happens. So I don't want to say never. I don't see myself daily vlogging. As you guys can imagine, we've got a lot going on, but at the same time, it's pretty monotonous, and it's not, I don't want to say that's not anything special, because it is, it's our life and we love it. But I feel that there's some pressure with daily vloggers you have to make your vlogs entertaining every day. And I don't want to feel the pressure to fabricate any part of our life or make it seem more exciting than it really is. So I want to vlog more. I really do. I would like to get to the place where we're putting up like 3 vlogs a week and then one other type of video. So that would be 4 videos a week. That's where I want to be. Right now we're at 2 videos a week. So trying to work more on vlogging. I plan to vlog more, especially as the school year ends and summer comes. We've got a lot going on this summer, lots of fun things we're doing. So really want to do more vlogging and share that with you guys. My kids love it. Like right now they're in a stage where they love it. If they find out that we're vlogging that day, they're like, yes, you know, they love it. Like I've mentioned before, there's a lot of hesitation because if you've ever put up a video on YouTube, you know that your entire life gets critiqued from top to bottom. Even though you may be sharing 10, 11, 12 minutes of your day, people make assumptions about everything based off that 10 to 12 minutes a day. Hopefully that answers the question. Right now, daily vlogging is not on the horizon, but we would like to vlog more. I know you guys like to see vlogs. I want to share more with you guys. It's just a matter of kind of, like I said, finding that balance for privacy for our family and sharing with you guys and all of that. So yes, we want to vlog more. Right now, we're not doing daily vlogs.